Hello, everyone. My name is Yuko Tomizuka. I'm a global real estate investment advisor. So once in a while, I've been spending my time to share what I learned from one famous Japanese business entrepreneur called Mr. Kazuo Inamori. It is good to grow our business. And number two, to grow client business. And number three, it's good to look at the same direction as client is looking at. So therefore, I have been sharing this kind of business philosophy and the business tips. So today's topic is like that. Great entrepreneur shared 7 tips to train CEO substitute. This is part 2. We are talking about how to create a CEO substitute, right arms or avatars. This time, Inamori shared tips of attitude by which we can motivate our staff. Tips are the follows. Number 1, creating your partner. Number 2, developing your followers. Number 3, demonstrating the significance of our works. Number 4, raising the corporate vision. Number 5, sharing the corporate mission. Number 6, getting rid of our prize. Number 4, raising the corporate vision. Inamori explained as follows: even though each one's desire or wish seems to be limited in terms of its influence, that wish would generate a huge power when it is accumulated and amplified with others. When everyone's desire is integrated and amplified, then released to one direction, the operational goals should be achieved. A company leader needs to play a role to integrate everything, put them in one direction, and release them to the intended direction. This is actually the vision. In other words, we call it a dream to be shared. Number 5, sharing the corporate mission. Inamori set out Kyosa's corporate mission, pursuing the fulfillment of all the employees in both mental and material values. As a prerequisite of this supreme mission, I will try to think about what fulfills people, which means our staff. I'd like to refer to the Inamori word. When he was invited to the workshop held in Brazil, many entrepreneurs there shared their episode of how they developed their businesses, expanded their businesses with their children, and handed over their businesses to the next generation. While he was listening to all the stories, he got emotional and he couldn't stop shedding tears. Inamori started crying. He actually felt all the obstacles and hardships that those leaders experience in their starting up in Brazil. During their efforts, eventually they got to know the business philosophy that Inamori shared with them and conducted everything as Inamori followers. Inamori was deeply touched with the outcome of his volunteer work, Seiwajuku. He eventually felt that all of his effort had finally been paid off. Or even more than that, he was able to have the feeling which is more fulfilled than any other business leader. This was actually the greatest fulfillment in his life. He felt such a great level of fulfillment even in his 80s. So he was fully convinced that he was the most lucky guy in the world. Number 6, get rid of our prize. Usually in a company, when a president wants to start the study group of its business philosophy, most employees are reluctant to proceed with it. Sometimes they say, how come can you believe that you could do the same thing as that great entrepreneur Inamori? This looks really ridiculous for us to just copy what Inamori did. Those kind of comments are really discouraging for leaders to proceed to improving their company's performance. However, if I were the president of the company, I would like to tell the desperate staff, well, I think you may look down upon yourself. If you keep underestimating yourself, you would never be the one to be fulfilled. I know that I'm not a capable business leader like Inamori. However, I changed my mindset. I changed my words and my behaviors as well. All of those changes I made were to fulfill you guys. You can look down upon me. You can keep making fun of what I'm doing. whatever. However, I would never stop pursuing your fulfillment. Inamori mentioned corporate governance. At the end of the day, this is a core part of corporate governance. In other words, how to create top leaders in your company is fundamental item before discussing corporate governance. Those trained leaders are exactly your substitute. In order for us to develop such human resources, we should never stick with our egoistic views. In Japan, martial arts are sometimes required to demonstrate full concentration, complete mindfulness, and self-dedication. Those concepts somehow led to what Inamori is trying to share with us. Leaders should not be egoistic. Behave based on altruism, otherwise you would never be fulfilled in your lives. Therefore, the following 6 tips are necessary to train leaders in your organization. Number 1, creating your partner, developing your followers, demonstrating the significance of your work, raising the corporate vision, sharing the corporate mission, getting rid of our pride. As mentioned first, a leader who eagerly wants to expand his domain never needs his partner. This is a theory of dictatorship. In other words, in the world, there is no country which could survive more than many centuries with a dictatorship. The fool can learn from the experience, and the wise learn only from the history. If you have further queries or doubts, please send an email. Thank you for your attention.